Hello?
Roseanne!
Hi, you figured it out, yay.
I did, all that college. All right, so we are good. There we go. Okay, just did that. And I will roll, and I will say, Harrison with you, and every now and then the founding daddies give birth to yet another great thinker, another person willing to do the heavy lifting, step out, put themselves at certain peril and risk, open themselves up to possible criticism, and of course huge audiences of celebrants who are thrilled that somebody's actually standing up for the residents here of Earth. And I'm speaking, of course, of Roseanne Barr, who's running for president, the California-based Peace and Freedom Party. And Roseanne Barr, I want to welcome you to Go Harrison, and thank you, by the way, for stepping up to the plate on behalf of the mammals that reside here.
Well, Harrison, it's great to be with you. I enjoy your show. You're a highly intelligent human.
Well, and coming from you, those are lofty words. So let me throw a
I don't give them freely, and I don't give them often.
All right. Well, I thank you. That's a great compliment. And let me throw one back at you. Running for president is not easy. Talk about exposing yourself.
It's completely insane. The more I learn, the more I go on my journey, which I'm documenting just for history, because the American people really should know. It's unbelievable. I knew it sucked, right, Harrison? But I didn't know it sucked to this extent of insanity.
Yeah, I'm guessing that one of the things that you've learned is not only were you always interested in the issues, always very capably able to defend them and analyze them and reverse engineer them, but when you end up at the level you're at now, you actually see much deeper into it, and it's a little scarier than a lot of us thought, isn't it?
It is really scary, but what's happening is that people who are intelligent are finding each other, and well, I should go a level above that too. Intelligent people are finding each other, but intelligent and moral people who have an eye to the survival of this planet and all species on it are also gathering. So that's pretty cool. So it's like, the more we can see how corrupt and, as I say, people say this system is broken. It is most definitely not broken. It's fixed.
It's fixed
as in
when...
rigged. As in rigged.
The way you fix a dog by breaking it.
Yeah, it's impossible for representational government of the people, by the people, and for the people to exist. So in order that it does not perish from the earth, there are people who are gathering and figuring out what we can do to pretty much save our country during this election, because many of these people that I speak with, myself included sometimes, we don't think that there will be another election in 2016 in the United States of America. We think this is the final one. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Admittedly, I'm very... I'm like a forensic person. I only go by data. In fact, I don't go by belief. I don't go by hope or faith or anything that isn't real. I only go by data and fact.
Yeah, as we look at the going back to Diebold in the year 2000, going back to the Supreme Court ruling that democracy is a bad thing when it comes to Bush versus Gore, we'll make the decision for you, so that you voting citizens don't have to break a sweat, we'll handle it, et cetera, et cetera. This was just the beginning, and we're now at a place...
Well, that's an interesting way to see it, but there's another way to see it, too, in that, it's just about getting power from the many and putting it into the hands of the few. That's what's really going on. Power and money is being moved upward in the greatest redistribution of wealth ever to happen on the face of the earth since there's been civilization. But that's funny, because the way they did it was by fear-mongering and telling people at the bottom and in the middle that they should not support the the redistribution of wealth downward. Instead, they should support the redistribution of wealth upward. And they used a specific mind control method to pull that over, to fool the American people, to hoodwink and bamboozle the American people so that they would support a neocon agenda. And, the neocon agenda, when you look at it dispassionately, seems to end in a big Armageddon in Iran.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And just hearing the word neocon brings back horrifying images of Swingin' Dick Cheney and Donnie Rumsfeld and all the rest.
Swingin' Dick Cheney. Yeah.
We're talking to Roseanne Barr. She's running for president 2012. Peace and Freedom Party, which is something that is critical to the survival of humankind, also has been very adept and very vocal for many, many years, putting up the good fight, and is now addressing all the key power players at the very top level to try to at least slow down the machine. It sounds like, Roseanne, it doesn't feel as though there's huge traction that can be taken, but if at least we can, bung a spanner into the cogs, we can buy some more time.
Well, this is the way I look at all that. That would be one. That is one way of looking at it. I appreciate what you said, and I take that in. I hear you, but I think that the people at the top are also afraid because they're fresh out of ideas. Obviously, I don't know if they ever had them, besides how to con people or trick them out of their money. But when it comes to sustainable ideas that actually are resource-based, that go to, the survival of humanity and all species and the earth itself, they're fresh out of ideas there. They just, throw bombs at it. So, it's also time for me, a woman. I love saying that because that blows America's mind, that there's any kind of difference between a woman and a man. But you know what? There is, and there's a lot of difference in our brains, too. Women's brains, according to science and fact, not religion and emotion and prejudice and superstition, but science and fact indicate that women actually are multitaskers and can think things through in a very cyclical and circular manner, which is exactly what we need on the earth right now, and why I'm running, because we need solutions. First of all, how we arrive at solutions is by recognizing that everything is one thing, and there's only one everything, and we have to solve problems instead of blowing parts of them up.
Yeah,
and we have to do it peacefully. That's why I like the Peace and Freedom Party. We have to do it without war, and here are some of my ideas. Number one, of course, I will make war illegal.
I like that.
And legalize marijuana.
For warring?
Yes, and any warmongering at all will be punishable by imprisonment. I will legalize pot. I will end the drug wars, because here's what's really going on with the drug wars. It's for the profit of drug lords in Mexico and on the border. It's for the profit of the United States, kind of a criminal class of drug lords, and the same in Mexico. And the American taxpayer is footing the bill for all of it. And you know what? It's not very smart. What would be smarter, I think, is to ask Mexico to become our 51st state and increase, our oil, for one thing. That'd be far cheaper and smarter than what we're doing now with this drug war. That really, though, here's what it's about. The drug war. Well, here's what I say. This is the way I see the whole two-party system. I say that it is, I am not running to take votes away from Obama. I am running to, try to establish a third party for the American people so that they have the right to vote for a party not owned by bankers. Because that would indicate freedom and not debt slavery. So peace, and the way to do that is I'm just going to finish this one sentence. But of course, we have to make war illegal, because that will also make slavery illegal. Because the reason that most wars are waged is to hold laborers, and so they will do free labor. And that is, in fact, what we're doing all over the world, and in particular here at home. the scary thing is that 90% of all the house paint manufactured in America is manufactured by prison labor at about 22 cents an hour. Now, how they're doing that is they're arresting young people, working class, and middle class kids too, in the prime of their strength, which is about the same time you'd smoke a joint. Now, what they do is they go in and they put their boot on your neck by arresting your kids, putting them in prison. Then they get this, not only the kickback for the prison military industrial complex, which is really what I say, I'm taking votes away from not Obama, but from the prison, from the duopolistic fundraising arm of the prison military industrial complex, because that's what's really going on. So they put these kids in prison, and they get like some good labor out of them, and they get the kickback for putting them in privatized prisons, also subsidized by American taxpayers. And, so the judges and everybody who puts them in, they're getting a kickback, because after they deregulated all of their markets and stuff, they just made talk about predatory lending, they made that the rule of the day. Predatory anything, by whatever means
funny,
necessary.
Roseanne,
Race to the bottom, prison labor. And that's what the Americans, that's why they keep pot illegal, because not only do they lock up your kids for their labor, but then they can take your home, too. They can take your home, and it's all tied up into one big Ponzi scam. And the American people should have the right to know that and to vote away from both of those parties.
We see examples of that in Arizona, famously Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who loves to arrest anybody and anything with two legs. He also has financial concerns in the way the prisons are operated, the clothing that's distributed, the food that's eaten. It's sort of like Mayor Daley of Chicago 20, 30 years ago. And this is now... This is now the new normal from top to bottom, where, as you point out so rightly, Roseanne Barr, it is the largest upfunneling of wealth from bottom to top in human history. Never before.
It's a heist.
It's a heist, isn't it? It's a looting, a bank robbery without the mask, doing it right.
Yeah, and then saying this. Now and not only is it a bank robbery, but it's subsidized with workers' forced taxes. Man, if that ain't slavery, what is?
So we're at a place now in our American and human timeline where every single country on the globe, and the United States military is dotted in some 900 bases all the way around the circumference of this planet. So we have a total empire grip. We have Europe melting right under our eyes, the United States. The rich get richer and the poor have children.
Well, it's not just that. You are right, though. And it's not just that. It's also that there is a predatory class, and they are in charge of the food supply. And I'm serious. They're also in charge of the water, and they're in charge of the planet. Predators, who, like I say in my speech, these people who talk nonstop about their God, who is money, are very, very devout, and they are fundamentalist free markets. And what that means is slavery. They have no compunction whatsoever, no moral compunction whatsoever of profiting from slavery. But a new world is coming, and that's why I'm running also, Harrison, is a new world where everybody is civilized, and they get together, and the whole fulcrum of my platform is that everybody would sign this pledge that, no leader deserves to lead anywhere on this planet that profits in any way from slavery.
Wow, I really like the deliciousness of that particularly cool drink on a steaming hot day around the world as climate change.
Because we could do it. We could do it easily. And people who enrich themselves on keeping human problems going, they need to be arrested and tried in a court of law, not heavily weighted in their favor.